What's up, guys? Welcome back. So pretty much, guys, a new day, and I figured I'd get out here. Still sick like a dog crap, but it is what it is. I felt like getting out here and doing some work to the EK. This weekend I'm actually taking off with the family to Rosarito because I have to pick up a bunch of orders for carbon fiber hoods and fiberglass hoods that I have for a bunch of customers. And so we figured we might as well make a trip out of it. My little brother's going with me, along with his fiance, and I believe my nephew and my daughter and my son and my wife. So we're all gonna go. We're gonna take 2 cars, and I had to do a little bit of maintenance yesterday that I didn't record because honestly, just nobody wants to see that. So I did the maintenance on that one. That one needed new spark plugs and coil packs, and we also had to do a valve adjustment that we did the day prior. A good homie of mine, or a friend of mine actually, B-Works, came down and did the whole valve adjustment, and that's just something I won't mess with, is a V6 valve adjustment, because as you guys already know, I barely knew how to do the 4-cylinder one on the K series, so I wasn't gonna tackle 6-cylinder Honda Pilot. So the only thing we need to do to the Pilot now is actually get these tires actually mounted onto the rear wheels, so that way all of the tires will have tread. I'm gonna go ahead and swap the front ones to the back ones, so that way the front ones can do all the driving and moving, and compared to the back, they'll stay still. But getting back to the car, what we're gonna do today. The plan today is actually to start on the cooling system, so that we can try to knock some of it out of the way and get it situated. Yesterday, on yesterday's video, you guys seen that we ended up pretty much receiving a package from FedEx, and I thought it was a package for the Pilot, but in honesty it was actually the cooling system, the hoses. So we're still gonna have to modify those, cut them down a little bit, because the way the radiator is gonna have to fit in here is a little bit different than what it's supposed to be for a K-swap, because this is actually intended for a K-swap radiator. So aside from that, we already have the radiator, and we have all of the fans to go along with it. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to make a fan shroud in this video, just because we're not gonna have enough time to do all that, and I still have to buy the material for that. So pretty much, guys, let's go ahead and get today started and head to the tire shop, get the tires mounted onto the Honda Pilot, and we can come back and start a little bit of fabrication on the cooling system. Alrighty, guys, so we're back now, and we finally got the tires back onto the Honda Pilot, so that's all taken care of. So what we're gonna go ahead and do now is move our concentration over to the EK sedan. So I kind of just put the radiator in here right now. I am gonna have to fab up some brackets down there, try to weld everything up in there. But this is what I was kind of thinking about. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave this right here and put the hose to here, to this section, and see how it's gonna mount. I want it to kind of be like symmetrical. It's gonna be a little bit hard because of this clamp here. It's always the main issue. I can have it to where I can move it over a little bit, but then it's going to interfere with that traction bar down there and that mounting section. So it's kind of like a headache trying to figure it out. But let's just go ahead and see what we can do to figure out a mounting solution for the bottom and get the hose on to see how much we are going to have to trim. So this is the upper radiator hose, and the way you can see it's bent is kind of like a Z shape, and then it goes that way. So I need to see how we can get all this to pretty much work, because it's going to be very tight and it's going to be very weird as far as the fitment, because we got to try to figure out a mounting solution. So I think the only other way of doing it is probably putting on the turbo manifold, or the turbo itself, back onto the manifold, and that way the pipe is out of the way. But we're going to go ahead and try it this way. Alright, guys, so you guys can see this is how it's kind of fitting, and I'm not liking it because of this situation right here. It's too kinked. So I gotta figure out, I might end up having to freaking scoot it this way and close up that gap a little bit, so that way it's gonna be over here. So unfortunately it's gonna have to be on top of that mounting surface where the traction bar goes to. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to move it over, try to place it there, and hopefully that works, so that way it takes away the kink, and that way I can try to just shorten this section here. If not, then yeah, hoses are not gonna work. But let's try to figure it out. Alrighty, guys, so it looks like, in honesty, I might just have to end up buying a different hose somehow, some way. See how the kink kind of goes away. Right now it is not connected at all, so you can see how it's not tied in. But once I tie it in to its location there, we get a little bit of a kink. I think we should be okay. I'm gonna run it the way it is now, just for temporarily, and if I gotta switch it up, then I'll switch it up. But right now this is the way it's gonna stay, because this is perfect for mounting. It is a little close to the piping, so I'm going to scoot it over a little bit. I'm also going to put some edge guard on the radiator so that will prevent it from cutting in and scraping up the undercover piping. But for right now, this is where we're going to leave it. So we're going to go ahead and concentrate on the hose number 2 and try to, then from there we'll go ahead and figure out the mounting situation. Alright guys, so I ended up making these brackets. If you guys remember, quite a while back I had these brackets. That's what I'm going to use to mount the bottom of the radiator. I got the top hose on, I think I already showed you guys that, and then I'm going to have to cut the bottom hose, as you guys can see, because it's still not gonna fit as far as that goes. Sorry, this camera's just too big for this shit, but you can see how where it's at, it's not gonna work. So we're gonna go ahead and trim it probably around here, give or take, so that we can still angle it that way into the housing. So that's gonna be the easiest way of getting it done for now. But yeah, so as you guys can see, alright guys, so as you guys were looking, probably wondering what I was doing, I actually made 2 brackets. So there's these brackets that I made here. I just cleaned them up, and then I drilled 2 holes on the bottom of them, squared them out, made sure that there was no sharp edges, and pretty much added bushings onto them, sleeves. So you can see right here we have a bracket there, and then we have another bracket here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is make sure that they're pushed up against the traction bar, and I'm going to go ahead and weld it up so that way it maintains it there and it'll be welded on, and that's going to be its position for the radiator, because we do have enough room here, and we also have enough room over here from the charge pipes. There's some clearance there. That's what I wanted. The kink is still a little bit there on the hose, unfortunately, but it is what it is. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can find a different solution for it. If not, then it is what it is. Because again, I didn't really want to run this one, but to save a couple of bucks, I'm probably just gonna end up keeping it. I might see if I can find one that's cheaper, and if I can find one that's like a Z shape and then it connects over there, then I can easily tweak it that way and it'll go straight. So right now it's fine. It is what it is. I'm not worried about it. I want to get this car running, and we'll worry about that situation later on, because it's not that bad of a kink. I mean, it's there, but it is what it is. Alright guys, today we're not making the same mistake. I'm covering my ear. So let's go ahead and weld these brackets up real quick.
What we do here is go back.
Alrighty guys, so as you guys seen, pretty much now got the brackets welded on. They're welded on, radiator is locked in, so that way it won't move from there. As you can tell, it literally won't move at all. So we're good. This is where it's going to stay at. So I just got to fabricate the other bracket here, but I'm going to see if I can make a nice little design one. I'm going to go ahead and take my time on that, and I'll just do that later on. But for right now, it is all locked in. So now we can actually concentrate now on that last hose down there and pretty much wrap it up for the video. Still waiting for those ties to arrive. Once those ties arrive, then we can go ahead and get those situated. Alrighty guys, so as you guys seen, pretty much we ended up putting the top radiator hose on, and the bottom one is fully mounted, locked into place. I mean, it's not mounted with, it doesn't have the clamps on it. I'm still waiting for the worm clamps to show up. I did get some special ones for it. One thing that I am going to go ahead and mention is this: I am not sure if I'm going to keep this hose. The main reason why is because I am going to end up switching this section out, and a lot of people will go ahead and sit there and say, hey, it was a waste of money buying those hoses or whatever it is. Guys, I got these at a fraction of the cost because I ended up getting money back from the seller because we ended up losing them, and since I waited, I didn't want them anymore because of the whole situation. I was going to order something else, and they said that they would give me another set, which is why I just went ahead and cut these. Aside from that, right now what I ended up doing too was putting the turbo on, making sure everything cleared, still had mounting, everything mounted correctly still, and we had no issues at all. Another thing is I wanted to address before anything else is this, guys. I think I mentioned it earlier. We have plenty of clearance from the grill to the radiator. There's not a lot of disruption. Yes, the tubes are here, the pipes are right here, but we have plenty of room where air will go ahead and go in there. Aside from that, guys, I didn't do a lot of cutting. Yes, I cut a section of the radiator support for the charge pipes. Other than that, that's all the real cutting that we did. And then anything else you see, we took off the T-bar that mainly held support here because of the fact that we are running the condenser here, and it has its brackets, so this isn't flexible. Another thing is that I'm pretty sure we won't have any issues with cooling because the CFMs that I bought for the radiator fan is like 13 to 1400 CFM, and then the AC fans are not always going to be running. They're only going to be ran when AC is on. Aside from that, that is the only thing we got to worry about, is a little bit of heat drag coming from the fans going into the radiator. But aside from that, nothing should really interfere, and we shouldn't have any cooling issues. But right now, guys, I am going to go ahead and stop this video. We might continue it later on. I'm not sure yet. It is getting late in the evening already, and I'm currently still waiting for UPS to show up so that we can go ahead and mount the fans onto the condenser. And then also, I'm just going to go ahead and order a fan shroud from eBay, and then if I got to modify that, I'll modify that. But main reason why, guys, is because it's going to save me time. Fan shrouds on eBay are like 40 bucks, so it's not a big issue, you know what I mean? And plus it'll help me move things forward and make the progress that I want, and hopefully get this car started here in the next couple of weeks, guys. That is the goal. Next thing that we are going to be probably working on is the turbo setup and getting all that situated, and then go ahead and work onto the fuel system. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and call it a day, and we'll see what happens and see what else we can do. Alrighty, guys, so unfortunately, guys, it's already late at night. It's about 6 o'clock at night, and we're already packing the truck up to leave, or the pilot to leave. So as you guys pretty much seen, we were waiting for these brackets, or these thingamabobs, whatever you want to call them, zip ties for the fans, so that you can put them onto the condenser and also to the radiator. But we're not going to use that on the radiator. Unfortunately, it just came in too late, so there's just no point of me pretty much taking apart this whole front end right now to get those mounted, because I got to take off the intercooler to be able to get it on, clip them, and make sure that they're to the right distance. But we'll go ahead and finish that up on the next video. But for right now, guys, pretty much this is where we're going to end the video at, just because honestly it's too late and there's really nothing I can do because we got to head out. So hopefully on the next video, guys, we can actually get started on the rest of the cooling system, finish it up, put the fan shroud, put fans on it, get the AC system pretty much all wired up. We are going to be waiting for a harness to show up, and that is going to come again from Versatile. I did see that he was going to make an AC plug harness. I emailed them asking them if he can make mine a little bit more extended so we can get the evaporator plug over here, and also swap out that pin, because we were able actually to finally identify which one went to where. So hopefully here on the next video, guys, we can get all of that situated, at least the radiator, and then we can start up with doing the camber kits along with throttle position sensor and some other things that we need to do. But again, hopefully on the next couple of videos we keep progress going. We still got the fuel system, and we still got the turbo stuff to do. So all that will be done coming up in the next few videos. But pretty much, guys, that's going to end it for this video. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and stay tuned for more progress. Till next time.